The waitress noticed them the moment they walked in. A young mother, no older than 25, holding the hand of a small boy who couldn't have been more than 5. They stood by the entrance for a moment, scanning the room as if looking for someone. The woman's coat was thin for the weather. Her shoes were worn at the edges, but her face held a quiet dignity that made the waitress pause. She watched them slide into a booth near the window. The boy climbed up beside his mother, his little legs swinging over the edge of the seat. He looked around with curious eyes, taking in the warm lights, the smell of fresh bread, the quiet hum of conversations. The waitress, whose name was Elena, approached with a smile. "Good evening," she said softly. "Can I get you something to drink?" The mother looked up. Her eyes were tired but kind. She returned the smile, though it didn't quite reach her eyes. "Just water, please," she said. "For both of us." Elena nodded and wrote it down. She glanced at the boy, who was now playing with the edge of the menu, tracing the letters with his small finger. "And something to eat?" Elena asked gently. "We have a wonderful soup tonight, chicken and rice, very warm." The mother hesitated, just for a second, but Elena caught it, that flicker of something unspoken. "We're fine, thank you," the mother said. "Just the water." Elena walked away, but something tugged at her heart. She had worked at this diner for 6 years. She had seen all kinds of people, tired travelers, arguing couples, lonely old men nursing black coffee for hours. But this mother and son? They carried a different weight. It wasn't heavy in the way of anger or frustration. It was heavy in the way of quiet endurance. When Elena returned with 2 glasses of water, she noticed the boy staring at the table next to them. A family of 4 was enjoying their dinner: pizza, fries, milkshakes. The boy watched them with an expression that was not envy, but something closer to wonder, as if he had forgotten what a full plate looked like. The mother noticed too. She gently touched her son's chin and turned his face back toward her. "Are you okay, sweetheart?" she whispered. The boy nodded, but his eyes wandered again. Elena retreated to the counter, trying to focus on her other tables, but she couldn't shake the image of that mother. Thin coat, tired eyes, refusing to order anything while her child sat hungry. Then it happened. The boy leaned close to his mother. He wrapped his small arms around her neck and pressed his cheek against hers, and in a voice so soft, so fragile, so utterly innocent, he whispered, "I'm scared, Mama." The mother's hand froze on his back. She pulled him closer and kissed his forehead. "It's okay, baby," she said, her voice trembling just a little. "I'm right here. You don't have to be scared. Not when I'm here." Elena felt her own eyes sting. She didn't know their story. She didn't know where they had come from or where they were going. But in that single whispered confession, "I'm scared," she heard everything. A child's honesty, a mother's burden, a world that had somehow forgotten to take care of them. Elena walked to the kitchen. She found her manager, a man named Marco who had a gruff exterior but a heart the size of the city. "Marco," she said quietly, "I need to do something." He looked up from his orders. "What's wrong?" Elena told him about the mother and son, about the water, about the whispered words. Marco was quiet for a moment, then he nodded. "Make them a meal," he said. 2 plates, soup, bread, and a slice of that apple pie. Put it on my tab, and tell them it's from the house." Elena smiled and rushed to prepare the tray. She arranged it carefully: steaming soup, warm bread with butter, a pitcher of milk, and 2 slices of pie. She carried it to the booth with a steady hand, trying not to let her emotions show. When she set it down, the mother looked up in confusion. "Oh, we didn't order this," she said, pulling back slightly. "We can't." "It's from the house," Elena said gently. "Compliments of Marco. He wanted you to have it." The mother blinked. Her lower lip trembled. She looked at the food, then at her son, then back at Elena. "Please," Elena added softly, "enjoy it. Really." The mother nodded, unable to speak. She reached for the soup and placed it in front of her son. He stared at it, then at his mother. "Is this for us?" he asked, his voice still carrying that fragile edge. "Yes, baby," she said, her voice cracking. "It's for us." He picked up his spoon and took a bite, and then something beautiful happened. His face transformed. The fear melted, the worry dissolved. His little eyes widened and he smiled, a real smile, the kind that lights up an entire room. "Mama, it's good," he said. His mother smiled back, tears falling freely down her cheeks. She wiped them quickly, but Elena saw. Elena walked away to give them privacy, but she couldn't help glancing back. The mother wasn't eating. She was watching her son. She had pushed her own plate toward him, encouraging him to eat more. Even now, even in this moment of unexpected kindness, she was putting him first. Elena returned to the counter, her heart heavy and full all at once. Later, as the diner began to empty, Elena saw the mother stand. She helped her son into his coat and walked toward the register. Elena met her there. "How was everything?" Elena asked. "It was perfect," the mother said. "I don't know how to thank you. I don't have money to pay for this, but it's already paid for." Elena interrupted softly. Marco insisted. "You don't owe anything." The mother swallowed hard. She reached into her pocket and pulled out something small, a folded piece of paper. She handed it to Elena. "I wrote this earlier," she said. "I didn't know if I'd give it to anyone, but I want you to have it." Elena unfolded the note. It read, in careful handwriting, "We lost our home 2 weeks ago. My husband left. I have no one to call. Tonight I couldn't even buy my son bread. But you gave him soup, and you gave him hope. Thank you for seeing us. Thank you for not looking away." Elena looked up, but the mother was already at the door, holding her son's hand. The boy turned and waved. "Good night, lady," he called. "Good night, sweetheart," Elena said, and then they were gone. Elena stood there for a long moment, the note clutched in her hand. She thought about the whispered words, "I'm scared," and she thought about how a mother's love never stops. Not when she's hungry, not when she's tired, not when the world has turned its back on her. She thought about how fear can be quiet and lonely. But kindness can be too. It can walk in on gentle feet. It can sit beside you without asking questions. It can offer a meal when you have nothing and ask for nothing in return. Marco came up beside her. "She okay?" he asked. Elena nodded. "She will be." Marco patted her shoulder. "You did good tonight, Elena. That's what this place is for." Elena folded the note and tucked it into her apron. She picked up a cloth and began wiping the counter. But her mind was still with that mother and son, wandering through the cold night, carrying nothing but each other. And she made a promise to herself. She would never look away again, because sometimes the smallest act of kindness can change someone's world.